Good morning from Oceanside Harbor. I'm aboard Abri, my Beneteau First 38 here. And it's Sunday morning, everyone's relaxing. I was going to go over and visit a couple of my friends here that I've been using for my current series of paintings. We have George Byram over there on New Girl. That's his home. Let's see. I'm trying. Is that it? Oh, there it is. Right there. That's New Girl. That's New Girl. Where he lives with his wife. And then over here we have this Greenhold boat. Right around there. Called Sea Raven, and that's Brett's boat that he's been refitting for quite a while. I've been persistently working at it, so I'm gonna go visit them. I have one of the paintings that is nearly finished. I'm gonna show them and have a little chat. All right, let's go. Well, there's New Girl. Knock, knock.
Yeah, come on in, man.
Come on in, all right. Aloha, George.
Aloha.
How you doing?
Micaiah, how are you?
Good. You got quite the view here. Oh, thanks for inviting me up.
No, you're very welcome and welcome aboard.
Well, thanks for posing for this scene. I've got my third painting almost finished up, and this was the first one I started with. But each one has its own little story. So, and the people have been coming into the studio while I've been working on them, and you know they're really drawn to them, and you know, in their head they have their own story behind it. You know, they're just like, oh, it's like, this is such a good story you're telling. And I'm like, you don't even know what the story is.
That story will change before you get out of the harbor.
No one gets out of the harbor alive, I hear. So yeah, I'm interested to hear what you thought of them. You know, each one to me had a different little angle. And you know, when you saw him, you were pretty excited.
Yes.
You said you just love seeing yourself. Is that what you said?
No. Contrary to that.
That's the opposite, wasn't it?
It's the opposite.
Yeah. But even so, yeah, you're a pretty humble dude, and you're just like, I love it.
Well, you know, all I had to do is just sit down and start talking to Brett.
Yeah.
And then one thing leads to another. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. That was. It seemed to flow pretty naturally. So it's like normally it's like an awkward photo shoot where you're just like, act natural. It's like, I am. But yeah, this worked out really well, and I got hundreds and hundreds of photos, and it was hard to even start to make sense of it. So I first grouped them into different perspectives, and then in those perspectives just picked out my favorites of you, of him, of different parts of the boat, and then overlaid them to make a little scene. So here we started out where we're just like, here, why don't you sit here and you sit there and act like you're talking, but then you actually did get pretty deep into some conversations, and it was very natural. And when I've been watching Brett working on that boat for the last couple years, and he's been pretty persistent on it, and has he leaned on you for advice, or do you just give free advice?
I give him advice and lend him tools.
Okay, all right.
Sometimes I get them back.
So, what do you think of this? Like, does this tell a story that resonates with you, or?
Well, actually, I'm pointing over there and saying, "Look, there's a blue whale."
I remember that.
Yeah.
Just act natural.
That was, maybe you should name it Blue Whale.
The blue whale.
But in any event, it's I love the character of that boat, and I love the character of my buddy up there. And so it's, and I like you a great deal. And because of that, everything just kind of came together.
All right. Well,
It's just a slice of life. And that was it, and you captured it. So that's what makes you the artist.
well, and you're known as quite a storyteller.
On occasion.
And I think that represents you well.
Well, Brett's a good storyteller too.
Is he? I'll have to hear some of his stories. I don't know Brett very well. I met him. I think the first time we really connected is I had noticed, his girlfriend stopped showing up, and they had broken up, and he was looking a little melancholy, and I don't know how long ago it was after that I started going through my divorce, and I mentioned that to him, and we just had this big hug, and we're like, this guy's cool.
Yeah, he's way cool.
And one of these paintings in there does have a very like melancholy vibe. It's one I'm working on now, and as I was going through the photos, is like when it hit me, these you and Brett having this conversation, and it was pretty serious and solemn looking, and it hit me. It reminded me of that time I reached out to you, and I'm like, hey, like I need someone to talk to, and you're like, meet me at the bench at FDoc, and I'm like, whoa, this just all just like came up like right there, and it's like and that was a moment that I'm capturing in this painting now, that someone coming in at a time of crisis and just like walking through the emotions and just being a support for someone.
Well, if another person will bring comfort, then things occur in my heart, I believe it. Things occur that wouldn't have occurred otherwise. So that's an impact, and it's how you address that, with sincerity.
And it wasn't just free advice you were giving.
No.
You were feeling it with me, and that was
yes.
That
Actually,
was
well, it's like being old. You've gone through so many life's experience, and of course you get a look, and there's ups and downs, and successes and failures. Failures are only teachers, and you just dust yourself off.
Yeah.
And just keep going. And things because of your state of mind, you ignite an energy that brings good things your way.
Well, let's hope.
In a nutshell. And that's why I like to practice that.
All right. Well, I really appreciated that, and you are not only are you a great storyteller and someone people are drawn to be entertained by, but you're also a great listener, and that's really important too, just balance that out, and that's, I'm sure, how you've learned so much, by listening and reading, and it's not all about what you are projecting. It's like you're also taking it in, and that's creates these great conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, okay, so we got one here. This one for me is more about you telling your story and him listening. I have another one where you're listening and he's kind of sharing, and then the other one's more of just a work. He's working and you're working. You're pointing something out, and you've got many talents and a lot of wisdom to share. So I'm sure you're quite the asset to to have around in a project. You've done it all, huh?
Pretty much. My itinerary is long.
Yeah. There's a saying in Spanish, and I don't know if I even understand it correctly, but I like my understanding anyway. It's más sabe el diablo por viejo que por diablo. It's like the devil knows so much because he's old, not because he's the devil. It's like the longer you live, you do acquire stuff, and it's this wisdom just because you've seen it all, man.
I think it's a wonderful realization if you get to that point to look at that, and you have so much experience to draw from. Mm-hmm. And so you can project that out in a positive nature, because I feel that a positive action changes everything. And so more positive actions than more change.
All right. Well, anything else you want to add?
Well, I suppose that's about it. I
Yeah.
appreciate you coming over.
Yeah.
You're welcome anytime.
All right, all right. This is only my second time aboard. But that's awesome. Yeah, I know you. I know we could talk for hours,
Yes, we can.
but we're keep this concise.
We got plenty of time to talk it all over.
Yeah, we'll talk later. Off the record.
Off the record, of course.
All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna go.
Okay, well, thank you,
I'm gonna-
dear brother. Shaka.
I'm gonna go visit Brett and see what he has to say
Okay.
if he's back from surfing.